The Earth Dragon Balls are orange-colored orbs about 3 inches in diameter with 1 to 7 star patterns, first created by Kami and later upgraded by Dende. Shenron, the eternal dragon they summon, can grant almost any wish, provided it fits within certain limits. Shenron can't make someone fall in love, make someone substantially stronger than their current limits, repeat a wish he's already granted, locate other Dragon Balls in another universe, or do anything beyond the power of his creator. Still, the range of possible wishes is impressive: eternal youth, immortality, restoring destroyed forests or planets, and even the most absurd ones such as a pair of panties. One of the most common wishes though is bringing someone back to life. But this comes with its own set of rules. A person can only be revived once, and they can't have died of natural causes. While Shenron can revive multiple people in one go, this only works if they've been dead for less than a year. Fans of the series often misunderstand this to mean that everyone must meet the 1-year limit, but this is not the case. In the Golden Frieza saga, Frieza is brought back even though he's been dead for much longer than a year, proving individual revivals aren't restricted by time. When someone is revived, they return to where they died with their body restored to the state it was before death. Shenron's power has another limit. He can't harm someone stronger than his creator. This doesn't mean he can't take out villains though, it just depends on their power level compared to his creator. Early villains like Emperor Pilaf or Mercenary Tao would have been fair game, but by then, most villains far outclassed Kami, making such wishes pointless. Shenron also usually grants the first wish he hears, but there are exceptions. In one instance, Bulma wished for, quote, all our friends killed by Piccolo to be revived, and Yamcha chimed in to expand it to all of Piccolo's victims. Shenron noticed everyone was okay with the change and went with it, showing he can adjust his wishes if needed. Once the wish is granted, the Earth Dragon Balls turn into stones, with the same star count being preserved before being scattered to different points around the Earth, completely at random, rendering them inactive for 1 year before they can be used again. The Earth Dragon Balls have been deactivated a few times in the series. King Piccolo killed Shenron once, but Kami brought him back after seeing humanity's good side. Later, when Piccolo and Kami merged during the Cell Saga, the Dragon Balls became unusable again, until Dende stepped in as Earth's new guardian. Dende also came with some upgrades, like allowing 3 wishes instead of 1, or 2 if multiple people are revived with 1 wish, and he also made it possible to save leftover wishes for later. Overuse of the Dragon Balls isn't without consequences. Each wish generates negative energy, which normally dissipates as the balls scatter. But if the balls are overused too quickly, they end up cracking, and all of the negative energy built up in these Dragon Balls would be released. This very thing occurs in Dragon Ball GT, where the cracked balls release Black Smoke Shenron, which led to the creation of the 7 Shadow Dragons. These powerful enemies represent the dangers of relying on Dragon Balls too much, with each one being created from the negative energy of some of the most major wishes performed in the series. For example, the final and strongest Shadow Dragon named Sin Shenron was formed from the massive wish that brought all Namekians killed by Frieza back to life, which of course occurred during the classic Frieza arc. This also led to the return of Porunga, the entity of the Namekian Dragon Balls back to life, who we'll be discussing shortly. The inverse negative energy created by this massive wish made Sin one of the strongest enemies in the series. The video game Dragon Ball Heroes expands on this concept with the game canon Dark Dragon Balls. Created by Zeno Dende, these red orbs with black stars summon Dark Shenron and scatter across time and space. They're infused with demonic energy and can merge with villains to make them stronger. The Namekian Dragon Balls are quite different from their Earth counterparts. They're about the size of basketballs and summon Porunga, a dragon created by Great Elder Guru. Porunga can grant 3 wishes, which is more than Shenron, and they can be used once every Namekian year, which is roughly 130 Earth days. But there's a catch. Porunga can initially revive only 1 person per wish, unlike Shenron, who can revive entire groups or even whole populations in one go. Using the Namekian Dragon Balls also requires a bit more effort. You first need a special password to summon Porunga, and all the wishes must be spoken in the Namekian language. This usually means that someone like Dende has to step in as a translator for outsiders like the Z Fighters to use them. However, one big advantage of the Namekian Dragon Balls is that they can revive the same person multiple times, which Earth's Shenron couldn't do, at least not until Dragon Ball GT. Another thing the Namekian Dragon Balls has over the Earth ones is that they don't scatter after a wish is made. Once the Dragon Balls turn back into stone, they're ready to use again as soon as they're reactivated. No need to track them down. When Guru was dying during the Frieza saga, he passed his position as Elder to Muri, ensuring the Dragon Balls would remain active. Later, after the Namekians settled down on New Namek, they upgraded their Dragon Balls to let Porunga revive multiple people at once. This change was inspired by their experiences with Frieza, where being limited to one revival per wish just wasn't enough. Interestingly, in the Kid Buu saga, Porunga granted a wish in a common language, rather than Namekian, showing some flexibility when Dende wished to bring back everyone killed by Buu, restore planet Earth, and restore Goku's strength. And really quick, we recently just dropped a limited batch of merch. We worked really hard on these designs, picking from some of my own personal favorite anime growing up, and supporting us by buying some merch helps keep pesky sponsors away from this channel, and taking up 2 minutes of video time just to talk about some random mobile game, so to keep these videos no nonsense and straightforward, help support the channel by buying some merch. But anyway, the Black Star Dragon Balls were introduced in Dragon Ball GT, and were a unique and dangerous twist on the classic Dragon Balls. They look similar to Earth's set, but have black stars instead of red ones. These were created by the nameless Namekian, before he split into Kami and King Piccolo. Since this Namekian wasn't purely good and was much stronger, the Black Star Dragon Balls can summon Ultimate Shenron, a super powerful dragon with far fewer limitations than the original Shenron. For example, he can grant wishes like killing someone outright. This extra power comes with two major downsides. First, after a wish is granted, the Black Star Dragon Balls scatter across the galaxy, not just the planet, making them way harder to retrieve. Second, the planet where the wish is made will explode in 1 year, unless the Dragon Balls are returned to it. Unlike the Earth or Namekian Dragon Balls, the Black Star set doesn't turn to stone after a wish, so they can be used again immediately after being collected. In GT, Emperor Pilaf accidentally uses these Dragon Balls to turn Goku back into a kid, kicking off a galaxy-wide adventure as Goku, Pan, and Trunks race to collect them. Later, Baby uses them to restore planet Tuffle back in the same orbit as Earth. But after Baby's defeat, everyone realizes that it's been nearly a year since the Black Star Dragon Balls were previously used, and the Earth will explode in 2 weeks. As everyone left the Earth for planet Tuffle, Piccolo makes the ultimate sacrifice by staying on Earth as it explodes to ensure the Black Star Dragon Balls are destroyed for good. In the video game Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi, these Dragon Balls are called the Ultimate Dragon Balls, and seem to have been modified by Piccolo to remove their dangerous downsides, making them function more like Earth's Dragon Balls. However, Omega Shenron manages to corrupt Ultimate Shenron with negative energy, turning the Earth into a nightmare. The game's hero defeats Omega Shenron and purifies Ultimate Shenron again, but the damage caused by the negative energy is too great to reverse. The hero then uses a wish to revive everyone killed by Omega Shenron's chaos, and vows to find another way to restore the Earth without relying on the Dragon Balls. The Super Dragon Balls give us an answer as to how Kami, Grand Elder Guru, and the nameless Namekian created their own versions of Dragon Balls. In Dragon Ball Super, it's revealed that this was done by shaving off tiny pieces from the Super Dragon Balls, created by the dragon god Zalama, and this set is absolutely massive, quite literally the size of planets. Champa even calls them wish planets at some point. In Dragon Ball Super, Champa collects 6 of these behemoths, while Bulma hunts for the last one, which turns out to be the nameless planet itself. The Super Dragon Balls have no limits when it comes to granting wishes. You can wish for pretty much anything your heart desires, though the dragon can only grant 1 wish per summon. To summon Super Shenron, the dragon of the Super Dragon Balls, you need to say the magic words in the divine language, and these words are, "Come forth, dragon of the gods, and grant my wish pretty please." When summoned, Super Shenron is so ridiculously huge that it contains entire universes within its body. Thankfully though, it can shrink down to a more manageable size for conversations. Once a wish is granted, the Super Dragon Balls scatter across Universe 6 and 7, and they remain inactive for 1 year, before they can grant another wish. In Dragon Ball Super, these Dragon Balls are used by Beerus to wish for Universe 6's Earth to be brought back with a fully operating civilization. They were also used by Zamasu to swap bodies with Goku in an alternate timeline, resulting in the creation of Goku Black, and finally used by Android 17, who wishes to restore all universes that have been erased by the Omni Kings during the Tournament of Power. This makes them hands down the most overpowered Dragon Balls in the franchise, and explains why the ones on Earth and Namek are a little less flashy, considering they're essentially just fragments of the God tier ones. The Cerealian Dragon Balls. Throughout the series, Dragon Balls tend to keep getting bigger and bigger, so the Cerealian Dragon Balls are an interesting change of pace, considering they're as small as marbles. But that's not the only thing that makes these Dragon Balls unique. Made by the Namekians on planet Cereal, there are only 2 to collect instead of the usual 7. They have black stars instead of the Earth and Namek set's classic red-orange look, and summon a small, polite dragon named Toronbo. Toronbo is a bit of a counselor among dragons. He'll actually chat with the wisher about the consequences of their wish and suggest alternatives if needed. But if the person is set on their wish, no matter how good or bad, Toronbo will grant it. The Cerealian Dragon Balls are one of a few sets that can actually boost someone's strength significantly, unlike with the Earth Dragon Balls that seem to not be able to do this. They are also unique in a sense that some wishes come with a cost, like sacrificing part of the recipient's remaining lifespan. These Dragon Balls don't turn to stone after a wish either, so they can be reused as long as someone collects them, much like with the Black Star Dragon Balls. When the Saiyans invaded Cereal before the events of the series, the Namekian who created these Dragon Balls gave them to Minato for safekeeping, after Namekians and Cerealians were wiped out. At one point, Minato collected the balls to wish Bardock back to planet Vegeta, but Bardock refused to leave until he defeated Gas. Instead, Minato used the wish to ensure Bardock's sons would thrive. For the next 40 years, the 2-star ball was lost, while Minato held on to the 1-star ball. Eventually, a young Shigarian stumbled across the 2-star ball, sparking scientific interest. Granola later stole both balls, summoned Toronbo, and wished to become the strongest warrior in his universe at the cost of cutting 150 years off his lifespan. Things escalated when the Heaters learned about the Cerealian Dragon Balls from Granola. They went as far as to travel to Earth to swipe Bulma's Dragon Ball radar to track down the balls. Once they had them, Alex summoned Toronbo and wished for Gas to surpass Granola in power, in exchange for Gas's remaining lifespan. After the Heaters were defeated, Granola suggested a wish to bring back his fellow Cerealians after they were wiped out by the Saiyan army. However, Minato pointed out that this would be unfair to the Shigarians, who had moved in their people's place after losing their own home. Minato then decided to seal them away for good, in order to prevent any more trouble. The Special Dragon Balls. Super Dragon Ball Heroes introduced the non-canonical Special Dragon Balls, which work a bit like Earth's Dragon Balls since they summon Shenron. But instead of being treasure-hunting targets, these Dragon Balls serve as keys to escape the prison planet, a cluster of chained-together worlds created by Fu as part of his twisted social experiment. To get out of the prison planet, one needs to collect all 7 Special Dragon Balls. Each one is held by a different prisoner on one of these planets. In the end though, the Dragon Team and Time Patrol don't rely on the balls to escape. They use their own strength to take down Fu and the evil Saiyan Cumber, breaking the seal of the prison planet themselves. The Special Dragon Balls are eventually used to free everyone and restore the planets to their proper orbits. In the manga, there's a bit of a mix-up, where Vegeta is shown with the 7-star Special Dragon Ball, but later is drawn as the 6-star ball, while another prisoner has the 7-star one. The anime doesn't focus much on the balls themselves, as it leans more into the battle with Fu and Cumber that make escaping the planet possible without them. Also, fun fact, the Special Dragon Balls are the 3rd set not created by a Namekian. The original Super Dragon Balls were made by Zalama, and Mr. Popo's weaker Earth Dragon Balls from Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans also fall into this rare category. The Omnificent Dragon Balls. All the Dragon Balls in the series are ultimately linked to the Super Dragon Balls, but according to Dragon Ball Legends, they actually trace back to something Zalama created from a prototype, the Omnificence Crystal. This game-exclusive Dragon Ball is a golden transparent sphere with 2 smaller crystals, one a white and blue color, and the other black and red, rotating within it a yin-yang pattern. It floats in the air glowing brightly in gold. The crystal was created when Zaha merged the blue and red crystals, which had been inserted into Shallot and Giblet to power them up in their respective Super Saiyan God forms. As a prototype for the Super Dragon Balls, it can also grant any wish. What sets it apart is that it doesn't need to charge up like the Super Dragon Balls do. As long as it has energy left, the Omnificence Crystal can grant any wish as needed. This became a problem when Zaha took control, which occurred during the Tournament of Time. He used the crystal's power to cancel out Beerus's Hakai, nullify Super Saiyan Blue Goku's God Kamehameha, erase key detection in Universe 7, seal future Zamasu inside a giant crystal, create energy barriers to protect him, and even made Shallot's allies forget about him, turning him into a villain in their eyes. The Demon Realm Dragon Balls are the original set of Dragon Balls created by the Namekians that originate in the Demon Realm. They're not as huge as the Super Dragon Balls, but they're still way bigger than the Namekian ones. It's also worth noting, there are only 3 to find, but unfortunately, each one is guarded by a Tamagami, insanely powerful warriors created by Neva, a Demon Realm Namekian. These Tamagami are no joke, considering they've kept these Dragon Balls out of everyone else's hands in the underworld, which hints that they might even be stronger than Dabura, given that the former Demon King did not make any attempt to obtain them. Despite this, King Kadan of the 3rd Demon World seems to think that Goku, even as a kid, might be able to defeat the Tamagami and retrieve these elusive Dragon Balls. What happens when all three are collected? Well, at the time of this recording, Dragon Ball Daima is still ongoing, so it's still unclear what the true potential of these special Dragon Balls are. Until we find that out though, click the video you see on your screen right now to learn about almost every Saiyan transformation, and we'll see you there.